We want to talk today about homesteading successfully with rabbits. Now, everybody will try to tell you that if you're going to do rabbits for food, you need to have a meat breed, and that has its place. So I did a little study on my rabbits, because I actually keep mixed breed, I keep meat breed, I keep New Zealand, and I keep a cross of the two. So the study I did showed that on the pet size, what I'm calling the pet size, probably about a 6-pound rabbit as an adult, you're losing 6 ounces of meat. This is not live weight, this is after butcher, from a half New Zealand, half pet size. And on the New Zealand's, they give 6 ounces more of meat than the half New Zealand when it's crossed with a pet size. Like I say, about 6 pounds. So I recommend keeping the smaller size even if you cross it with New Zealand, because once in a while you're going to be able to sell pets, and you can sell them at a good amount. Whereas with the New Zealand, nobody is interested in it for pets, too big. If you go with teeny tiny like Netherland dwarfs and lion heads, stuff like that, great for pets, but not good size for meat. So if you go in the in-between size, where people are still going to find that acceptable for a pet size, then it's serving both purposes, so that you can have your rabbit meat and eat it too. It's a very good, lucrative thing to be able to sell pets. This is why we do miniature goats, this is why we do miniature pigs, and this is why we do halfway between rabbits, because I've sold way more pets than I have for breeding for homesteaders. I've probably sold a couple pairs breeding for homesteaders. But if you time the litters right, around March for weaning and around August for weaning, then you catch people that are going on spring break, and you catch people that are coming home from summer break. And that way you've got an animal that is cute and lovely to look at home. So that's the first thing I would say on keeping rabbits. If you're going to want them for meat, don't go with the Flemish giants. It apparently does not come out in the wash. And you have to keep the adults in a shed. They're far too large for a regular pen. Also, one of our success stories with the rabbits is put it on wire. If you don't keep them on wire, then they're just a huge mess. And if you do have them on wire, then you're able to harvest the droppings and sell manure, which also takes down cost. The other thing I would say, Hunter, come here. Hunter, come. Excuse my dog. The other thing I would say is make sure they have somewhere to rest. You don't want sore hocks. I've never had sore hocks, that having been said. I've seen it by rabbits that have come in. But for a female, keep her a nest box in there put hay in it. Just makes her comfortable for kindling. And it also gives her a hay basket, basically. Males, don't give them a nest box. They'll just pee in it. Figure out which side of the pen they're pottying on, because they are they'll prefer one side over the other, and put their nest box on the other side. Another hint, Hunter, use only glass or metal dishes. Use water bottles. Don't use dishes of water. I actually only recommend Purina feed. Now, this is totally up to you, but my one whole rabbitry was lost on another brand. So you don't want to monkey with their feed. Make sure reviews are good or whatever, if you decide not to go with Purina. But Purina is the one I use and have always used, except for the one time when they went out. So make sure you have a good hay available to them, a grass hay. You want to be largely feeding them that, and then the pellets in a smaller quantity, 1/4 to 1/2 cup. Lactating does get a double ration. Kits get as much as they want within reason. until they're 5 months old. No treats until they're 5 months old. And don't spoil your breeders. You want them to be handleable, fine. But, you know, bear in mind that your purpose is to have kits. And that having been said, make sure you put your breeders in proper rotation. Mine, I breed by twos. In case one monkey's up, you can transfer the litter to the second doe. Keep a spare male. That's a great hint. So that if your male goes out, you're not left with nothing. And if you're doing the pet size and the New Zealand, then keep a spare of both. I just learned that one. Thank you. And if you breed them in rotation, if I figured out finally, I wean at 1 month old. So if you go ahead and breed your second set of 2 does when the first set of kits are 1 month old, weaning age, then you'll have the 90-day rotation. You won't hit that, all 4 litters being there at one time and feeding them. Also bear in mind that you want to give them time off. I've had people tell me that they breed back to back. I never have. I used to give them a couple weeks off after they've had their kits weaned to let their body recover. Check their weight often, whether they've got kits or not. The spine stands up in a tall ridge if they're too thin, and just double their feed until they're not anymore. Watch how many treats you give them. Babies don't give any at all. Adults don't give them a bunch of carrots. I've seen that. And it makes them fat. A fat rabbit is not a good rabbit for homesteading. And keep them outdoors in a hutch, you know, facing away from the weather, prevailing winds and whatnot. But yeah, those are the best hints that I know of, and what's kept our rabbitry going.